All right, OG Domino, thank you for just taking the time out to meet with Random Lengths.
Yes.
Arts, culture, entertainment news right now. And you got a single coming out called For You.
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yes, sir.
And it's a memorial rap song. And I need you to tell me about it because you do a lot of name dropping in this one.
Yeah.
And you have a particular purpose behind it.
Yeah. TJ, it's like this. We had a lot of people that have been passing in hip hop, over the years. It's really been it's really been detrimental to the culture, because these voices and these people that have been dropping, they were a big influence in the game. Whether they were icons, big names, or whether they were just people that influenced their neighborhoods. It's a craft, and so my thing is right now is I don't want to see a lot of the fallen soldiers that put in work not getting their props just because they extended to another level, passed away. So my thing is with For You, I was like, people that I grew up on. Let's take Biz Markie for instance.
Right.
Even though we West Coast with it, let's take Biz Markie for instance. Before I even got into the game of hip hop, we listen to Biz Markie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need vapors and beatboxing. We want to be like him and all that. So that had a lot to do with West Coast hip hop, whether people tell you or not. That beatboxing, we all was battle rapping and stuff like that. So just to name one of the names, I don't think that should go without getting its props. Even though it's dead. People die and then 3 days later, we don't know it no more. We on to our lives and doing what we do. So with this, I had to do something just to give props and bring shine back to the names of, people that are in hip hop, give back to the culture. I think that we made a lot of money off of the culture. And so it's up to us to, give back to the culture. Right. And so this is a form of my giving back to the culture. We name them from every coast. It can't be one-sided. We got to give it to them as a whole.
Right.
And so what did it for me? We already had started writing on the song. The song was being written just because you're starting to feel the daggers as people are falling one by one, one after another. And what did it for me is like get it done was when Congress said, okay, you know what? We're going to recognize hip hop. We're going to give it a day in August. We're going to give it a national day to be respected. Then he came back and Congress said, okay, now we're going to give it a month in November. And in November, it's going to be Hip Hop History Month. So you got two different situations. I'm like, man, if they giving it up for hip hop, then surely we can do our part to put more on it, as it has to do with giving respect to the situation, to the culture. So
now, what's interesting about this song, though, is not only do you give props to like both coasts and the South, and you got multiple generations going on here.
Yes,
from old to new.
Yes,
and I was surprised by that. Only because you have a lot of these rappers die for different reasons. Some by natural causes, some from drug overdoses, and some violently.
Yes.
Yes. And I want you to speak on that a bit because part of it, I think, you're speaking this message of unity, and it's also about being mindful about the kind of energy you're putting out. I mean, it's sort of implicit, I think, when you're doing this kind of record.
Right. I think that a lot of them, people did die from different situations. I mean, you got a lot of, the hip hop, the newer hip hop that, have a lot of the violence in it. And I'm not saying we didn't have it in ours back in the day, but I'm saying that it exists on another level right now, And so, I understand that, we need to talk about street life because that's what hip hop has always been about. But every record can't be about killing up everybody and this and that. It's going to be a problem sooner or later. So, the different ways that people die, it hits me a certain way. It's like, when Black Rob died, or when Nate Dogg died, and dying from ways other than a bullet wound, just health reasons and all these different kind of things, man. It's like, to me, like we was talking earlier,
Right.
I think that it's important to try to feed yourself right. You know, we in the world right now, especially the hip hop world, man, it's always been good drinking, good reefer, or whatever it could be. You know, it's always been that. Before we got in the game, before, you know, it didn't start with us, they ain't gonna end with us. But they give us plenty of that. You know, it's a party life, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, you have to pump your brakes, pump your Winstons, and, you know, give yourself what you need, man. Because right now, if you ain't paying attention to how we falling, man, and we falling more and more with these health issues, man, you know, when it could be preventive.
Right.
It could be preventive, you know.
And you was particularly taken aback when your boy Nate Dogg passed from a heart attack.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
You know.
Some strokes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I probably got, what was that like for you? I think you said it was something like a wake-up call for you, but...
Yeah, it was. And I mean, you know, you don't realize it until, you know, that stain touch you, you know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't go see Nate all the time, you know. It's just that when we did, you know, touch bases, the love was always there. Because, you know, me and Nate, we started out in junior high school, you know, high school. So, you know, I was writing them songs and we was performing for colleges. And, you know, even when me and Snoop and the Twins was just in the lab a couple of years ago, they started singing the songs that we used to do. And I mean, you know, that hits me in another kind of way, man. You know, we came up on it. So, you know, the passing of him, it definitely woke up some things. And it's like, you know, you really, if you care about yourself, you know, if you want to give your family a little more who you are, then it's up to you to take what another man's fall. And you don't want to look at other people's situations and talk bad or do anything foul about that. Right. But a wise man knows. He don't make fun of nothing, but he takes another man's example as it could happen to him. Right. And that's how I get down. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, you know, Nate was a wake-up call on my health. Absolutely.
Now, you know what? When I was preparing for this interview, before I even knew I had this thing landed, when Scotty told me about the opportunity, I had started reviewing, going to YouTube and checking out your videos. What's going on here, man? I want to go back. I was in junior high when Getto Jam came out. And Sweet Potato Pie. I was like, oh, snap. I started rolling through the comments. And was like, man, this is my jam. I was like, all the fans were coming out in the comments in those sections, man. And I was like, whoa. I mean, they're kind of like wondering where you've been, where you've been performing at. Where can we get some more Domino?
Right. Yeah, and man, you know, I'm thankful to my fans for that, because let me say one thing. You know, I came out on a label, Outburst, Def Jam. They was distributed through Columbia, Universal. And when you go to like YouTube, you don't see Universal put it's not up. Those songs are not up through those companies. Right. But the fans, those people that you're talking about right there, the fans are the reason for all this that's about to happen right now. Because they kept me living. You know what I'm saying? They kept me, all my Getto Jam, all my Sweet Potato Pies, all my Soul Flies, all my whatever it is that I did. The fans kept me relevant. They kept the videos up, so all the millions and millions of views, it's because of them. You know, it's not because of a label. It's because of them. You know what I'm saying? So those people you're talking about that's in those comments, man, you know, it's just much love. So that's in the camera, much love. We got things to do. It's time to put some more of that Domino music out. You know, we started something and we can't let it in like that. You know what I'm saying? We got to put that voice back in the game, and I appreciate you for keeping me relevant. It's keeping it real. And another thing is, you said where I've been, man, I've been out there on that road. You know, I like doing that international thing, and you know, just like we was talking earlier, you know, sometimes in the States, you know, when you do music, time goes by, it's like a car. It depreciates. Okay. But in some instances, when you go to some places, they say, well, no, it didn't depreciate, it became classic. And now you spending more money for it. You see? So that was the difference between me trying to do things in the U.S. and say, you know what? let's go over here to Europe. They got angles for me.
Mm-hmm.
They got my bread on point.
New, different valuation.
I'm a classic. Yeah. I'm a classic. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's what it's been, man. It's been tiptoeing over there and keeping my life right. I mean, you gotta take care of your family, you do it in a real way. You know what I'm saying? So you tiptoe over there, get it on, get it the way you need to get it, come back here, and everything copacetic. So, I ain't got no hate for nobody. You just gotta figure out how to go get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People can do what they do. They machines over here work the same damn way. I ain't got no problem with it. But definitely gonna always figure out an angle on how to go get it for me and mine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a man gonna do. So that's what it's been with Domino. But now it's just, like I said, it's time for music. We got music out. We got some things that is popping. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But my lane, Domino's lane, on how he does his melodic thing and what made him unique. I came up in a time when all hip-hop artists had their own brand.
Right.
Too Short never sounded like nobody.
Right.
Cube never sounded like nobody.
Right.
Snoop never sounded like nobody. This is where I came up in that era.
Right.
And so that's what right now, I'm feeling like I'm not feeding my people what they want.
Right.
So this record right here is just an introduction to the next level of great things coming from Domino. It's time to put the music out. For you, it's just giving up all love to the culture.
Right.
We got to take a break.
Right.
Got to take a break and just get his respect up to all the homies. And I think that everybody that feel this, it's on a level to whereas I didn't want it to be a dance tune. I didn't want it to be none of that. I just wanted it to be a vibe towards you could just put it on, close your eyes, or even just look at the words on the video and know exactly what time it is.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Now you have folks you've been in the game about as long as you have, and continually just making it work. Folks like Battle Cat, who was on your earlier albums, man. And I'm just curious, what's it like when you sort of chop it up with some of the alumni that you may have hung out with back in John Marshall Junior High?
Yes.
What's it like when you guys chop it up? Where you actually end up doing work back in the '90s, and y'all, occasionally hook up back up again.
Well, what's dope is it's like the Twins, for instance.
Right.
The Twins got the sound to go around and it's my folks. We started that from junior high school. They was always that, man. They've always been a talent. Snoop has always been a talent. And when we link up, like I say, just singing those songs that me and Nate used to sing.
Right.
When they just singing that in the lab, it gives you chills because this is where you come from. You here today.
Right.
But where you came from before anything, all that signing and all that extra, man, it's not worth what that was. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you could say something right now. You could say, okay, well, D sold 500,000 units in 8 weeks without no stars on the record. Okay, so what? Okay, that was a good moment for me.
Right.
You could talk about it. It don't give me chills like when Snoop and the Twins start singing stuff that me and Nate used to do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't do the same thing. Right. So, all that stuff from back then, till whenever that happened with him, whatever. That gives me a whole nother feeling as far as what you're talking about when you're asking, how this feel. Also, Battle Cat.
Right.
Like I say, with me and Cat, do you know how that record came about?
No, tell me about that, man.
Okay. So, that record, I don't know if a lot of people know we did Bangin' on Wax first, right?
Right.
Bangin' on Wax was a record that...
But did that come out in '88? Or was that
like
for
90s?
90s somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do this record called Bangin' on Wax.
Right.
Bangin' on Wax was a record that consisted of people from every hood, pretty much in Southern California. So Compton, LA's, Watts, whatever.
Right.
Long Beach. And so we do this record and it goes gold without no radio play. So we sell nothing. no nothing. And so we do that record. Battle Cat is one of the producers.
Right.
So, and then, you know, after we do that, I decide, I want to do Domino now. You know what I'm saying? And so Domino, his language was never gangbang language. You know? I didn't go around cuz this, crip that, whatever. I made it a point to be real. So my shit, excuse me, but my twist, how I moved, was more gangster than gangbang.
Right.
Meaning that I never told, I never snitched. I handled my business when it's time to handle my business.
Right.
I helped my homies and my family every opportunity I got, you know. And that's just how it went down, you know what I'm saying? It was cool to the G code, like my folks said over in the corner. Right. So yeah, but anyhow, yeah, I said, you know what? This ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna stay with talking about killing this, killing that, killing that. So I say, how can we? I want to keep it hood, but I want to make it a situation to whereas people from the hood can hear it, but they don't feel threatened by it. So they can have a music that you don't shoot up the party all the time. You know what I'm saying? Banging on wax, you want to shoot the damn party. Let's keep it real. Yeah. So, but this.
Now, what's interesting about that though is you was hanging around a lot of artists and they had to make a decision about which direction they were going to go in, right? And matter of fact, a lot of them saw you on what your vibe was on and helped you along that, it sounds like to me, because you could have probably ended up at Death Row or, I mean, yeah, you're a Death Jam. Yeah. I mean, sort of tell, like, the decision you ended up having to make in that moment and where you're trying to figure out, like, okay, I like to perform with my homies and all that, but...
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you say stuff like Death Row, you got to go back to the beginning of when me and Suge met. Because I don't think a lot of people really know, you know, the relationship of me and Suge. Right. You know, I think that people think it started with Snoop and Pac and Dre. I think they think it started there. Because the story never, it came a lot earlier before that, actually. So I was probably in junior high, probably my first year of high school, and met Suge at a BRE convention.
And at that time, he was a bodyguard / security. He had his own business.
Absolutely. Him and Big West from Inglewood. And so we meet, long story short, we end up doing a management contract. So he had me opening up for everybody that was number one. So I think it was like Tone Loc and Young MC, you know, all the cats that was number one in a big way back then. You know, I wasn't on, so it was big for me because I was fans of all these cats. And it was like, you know, Suge made sure that whatever was number one coming into town, he finna get his artist on. So then, you know, brought the twins, all my other people's in, and you know, that's how we started performing. But it was me first. But the twist was Suge tore my contract up and kept everybody else. And that's where I kind of got a little, man, you trying to play with my dreams type thing. Like, man, you know, you get a tear in his eye because your whole life is you want to be an entertainer. That was your whole thing as a kid. So you finally thought you had it when you got with Suge, you know, because he lined it up in a real way. But the twist was, he tore that contract up, but he told me, if you ever need a deal, you need me to walk in, I'm going to do that. But the twist is, I don't want you a part of this row. Period. So that was our thing. And he kept his part of the party. Every time we seen each other, it was all love. I don't get into what the rest of that stuff was. That's their lane. But me and his lane was excellent.
Now, did he ever like go into some detail about why he didn't want you a part of that?
Nah.
He just did it.
Keep it real. Nah, he didn't. And what killed me off, you know, it made me feel, it was confusing. Because why would you sign this artist and put in as much work as you put in, just tear it up? He didn't never do that again. So I look at it as, hey, I give my props where it's due. You know what I'm saying? Because he still stood on his word. So I knew it wasn't no oh, I'm just trying to do this, do it. No, he stood on his word. So anytime I seen him, what you need, Diggity? We closed down the club. It's all love. We sit there chopping it up, old time says, because we had a good time. You know, we had a good time outside of the music.
Right.
You know, we had a great time actually. So, you know, like I say, our relationship is a little different than, you know, our story's a little different than the other stories. You know, I give him his proper where it's due. Our relationship in line is excellent. You know, what I'm saying? That's right. And but after he did that, I still wanted to. It's, you know, after you feel like somebody shot your dream down.
Right.
You want to come back and be like, you know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Right.
So regardless if he could have walked in the deal or not, I want to do it on my own.
Right.
So we end up doing. Me and Kat end up doing a record. So we do this record and we call it Domino. Right. Now we took the record everywhere. Nobody wanted it. They said it wasn't proven. Nobody was doing it. It was like this singing and rap thing, and nobody's really doing it.
Right.
Because usually we had a person on the hook that was singing and rapping. Because if you did too much singing, they say you sold out. Remember back in our day, it was like if you're doing too much singing, you're selling out. Right. So nobody wanted to feel like they was selling out.
Right.
So I had to do it a certain kind of way and still keep it hood to whereas it would be accepted. Right. You know, this was the beginning of a whole nother page to where it was like, nah, finally a person did it and got away with it.
Right.
So we do the record. Like I said, we took it everywhere. Nobody wants the record.
Right.
We go to Slauson Swap meeting. We was like, we finna do it. You know, whatever we gotta do. So we taking different hoods, lolos, everything, and we making it look good at the swap meet.
Right.
And every week they just buying it out. So finally we get a cat named Foot. And Foot is from a record pool called Impact Record Pool.
Okay.
All right. And it was a dope urban record pool. And he tells me, RIP to Foot, because he's really the one that sparked a lot. You know, he came to me and he said, you know what? This record is the hottest record in the streets right now.
Right.
I want to take this to my boss. I said, but you the boss. You own Red Bull. He said, no, I want to take it to my boss. And I said, well, who's your boss? He said, Stevie Wonder. And I said, Stevie Wonder? Well, hey, you know, man, come on, man. He's like an icon. I don't care how you look at it. Man, blew me away. So I said, okay, all right, what you want to do? So he said, never in the history of KGLH, his station, has he been affiliated or played a hip-hop record on that station. He said, but I think we can make history with this record. So he hits me back a week later.
Right.
He said, Stevie not going to add the record, but he said he's going to do something on his station that he never did before. It's called Make It or Break It. If the people that call in to hear music, I'm going to put up my top spinning R&B songs on this station. Right. And we're going to compare them once a week, every week for 4 weeks. If you win every week, you're going to make history on KGLH.
Oh, I know that.
And so, man, 4 weeks went by. We win 4 times. Foot's calling. I told you, you know. So that was the beginning of history, man. That was the beginning of Domino. And I always, you know, because a lot of people don't tell the story the way that it really happened or the way that they should hear the story. This is the beginning of where everything happened to vibe from. It was Foot and it was Stevie Wonder. These are the guys that broke the record. Right. Everybody else bidded on the record after they saw the vision and did something with the vision. You see what I'm saying? So after they made it and all of a sudden Getto Jam's playing every day, all day. Right. Now people want to bid, a bidding war on the record. All the people that didn't want the record, they want the record now. Right. So Russell Simmons ends up winning the bid. Right. Now what's so dope about Russell winning the bid is this. When Russell, he wins the bid, it becomes the first West Coast record ever affiliated with Def Jam to go #1. There was nothing before that. That he wasn't interested in West Coast music before that. It was all East Coast. It was all LL. It was all Onyx. It was all everything. When we knew Def Jam, we knew it was gonna be an East Coast record.
Right.
If anything come out on that Def Jam label, you knew it was gonna be an East Coast record.
Right.
There's no doubt about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what made that dope. It was the beginning of a whole nother era of Def Jam. You know. So when people say, "Oh well, you know, I think this record is what made Def Jam," or this, no, this record, Getto Jam, woke Russell up enough to say, "Look, man, we need some West Coast music." After that record, they start putting money in the Def Jam West to sign Warren G, Montel Jordan, all these different people.
Right.
Even today, YG. All these people that are on Def Jam West, I don't know if they really understand what made that possible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was that record. Because like I said, show me a West Coast record that Russell was dealing with before Getto Jam. You can't.
Right.
You can't.
Well, no.
No, you can't. So this is what's important today. I'm glad you asked the question that you asked, because a lot of people can't pull that out. You really on point with what you're talking about. That's the story that a lot of people need to know. Is the history of the West Coast affiliating itself with an East Coast label.
I know that's
Def
right.
Jam.
Major East Coast.
Man, come on, man. That was the biggest. Name one East Coast. That's the biggest. You know what I'm saying?
Last question.
Come on.
You got For You out.
Yeah.
What you got coming next, man? What you got coming for us next? What's coming out, man?
Well, we got to do the Domino album. You know, it got to be a 10-0 situation. You know, we got to give you 10 and it got to be all 100. It's time to just put that voice back into the system. You know, I'm glad that the internet has created a whole nother situation, because you know, when we did big records, we didn't have internet. So you got a Domino moving, you know, 500,000 units in 8 weeks. It's certified in 8 weeks. Man, come on, man. We didn't have that button you can push, wow, and it's everywhere all around the world. Right. So now the internet has made it to whereas, you know what? It's time. You don't have no excuse. You can tap who you need to tap on point. And I think that my fans right now, they would appreciate some real Domino back in that system again. And so, you know, I think that's what I'm gonna give them. You know, but I this was a pause for the cause, but for you, you know what I'm saying? You gotta do that though. We gotta, man, give props where it's due. Then I can get on to what I do. You know what I'm saying? And that, I'm telling you, it's finna get very interesting. You know what I'm saying? We need some music for us too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, we give it up for, you know, some of the youngsters out there and got it banging and this and that. But we still need some music for us too. Yeah. You can't forget. You can't just merge into that lane and just forget about who you are.
Right.
We still got something for us.
Yes.
That you know, we need to fill that void. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's what Domino finna do. I ain't forgot about it. You know, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it in a real way. So get ready for that Domino record. Get ready to start seeing Domino on the stage. Get ready to start seeing Domino. What we talking about? Them NFTs and all that. We about to make it official. You know, it's time to really bridge the gap as to where Domino been and what's going on. We got it's time for the merge, the whole nine. And so all I'm saying is, you are the beginning of what's finna come. That's all I'm telling you. You the first.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got this before you. So, you know, we good. You know what I mean?
All right.
That's 1,000.
All right. How we look on time, man?
We good.
All right. Thank you so much, Domino. I appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Man, I enjoyed both our conversations too, man.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing my device, you have been talking all day.